How you doing? It's April 20th, 2022. Yes, it is. It's time for Afro Economics Live. What's up, y'all? I'm loving that so many people are logged in on time. Oh, yeah. If you feel like Vic James, make sure you get up. Woo! What a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful night. Yes, it is. It's still light outside. Just a little. Just a little. Come on inside for a little bit. We are going to talk about, is our hard work working? Is it working out? Is it happening? What is, our return on investment for the college debt that we find so many college graduates in? I remember like getting out of undergrad and just knowing you're in negative territory. And I didn't know it was commonplace for people to do like I did, just start working, and realizing, hey, maybe I should just go to graduate school. So then I went on to graduate school. And what do? Get in more debt too many times, too often. But we're out there and you're doing it and you think you're the only one that's doing it. But it's not true. There's so millions, unfortunately, that are going into school loan debt. And according to studies that have been going on for years, it's not paying off. I want to, get right into it. I want to keep it real with you. It's not like I want to share. I hope that technology will like keep everything together. I'm going to share this. I'm going to share the screen. We're going to share the screen. Look how it keeps freezing me. It's freezing us. And it says umbrellas. Umbrellas don't make it rain. Umbrellas don't make it rain. Interesting title. Why studying and working hard isn't enough for Black Americans. And this was done by the Samuel Dubois Cook Center on Social Equity at Duke University. Interesting, right? And the study, make sure you go and check it out because you can download the full article. And I don't know if I'll continue to share it with you. I'm going to come back and check and see if the PDF itself, shares with you also. I love it. Can you see it, Star? Yeah. The brother's like, what is going on? I'm working, and it's not paying off. But what did the study say? Like, so I want to go back because I want to make sure you're not looking at the no, I don't want to share this tab. I want to share the article. Okay. This one. And if I go like this, I hope you move with me. And it says who did the research and everything. And then down in it says for people of color, all the right choices don't equal all the right outcomes for us. Isn't that something? America prides itself on long-standing belief that anyone can make it financially by working hard and tugging at their proverbial bootstraps. And that's at the top line. I hope you can see it when my mouse is on it. I'm going to go back. And then, so according to a 2014 Pew Research survey, 57% of Americans disagree. This is everybody. Disagree with the statement that success in life is pretty much determined by forces that they disagree with the statement that success in life is pretty much determined by forces outside our control. 57% disagree. From the pioneers to financiers, wealthy Americans are claimed as self-made, succeeding by pure grit. But the truth of it is that an analysis of who holds America's wealth makes clear how life outcomes can diverge radically, in particular for those subject to systemic, historically rooted discrimination. So they realize that we're not really, even though you think that most people are believing that success is determined, by themselves and what they can do. That's not true for us. Which is not related to the amount of personal effort exerted. Systemic, historically rooted discrimination, which is not related to the amount of personal effort that is exerted. It's shown in America's wealth, has made clear how divergent and radically divergent the wealth is for our community versus the majority community. They did a comprehensive study of wealth and what wealth really is. And it even explains that wealth is what you own minus what you owe. So when we think, a lot of times, unfortunately, we confuse income with wealth, but that's not what wealth is. The differences in wealth accumulation are important to examine because wealth, whether invested in debt-free education, small business creation, housing, or retirement savings, generates opportunity and improves well-being. Wealth is used to allow a person to have debt-free education. For most of the graduates in our community, they're graduating with debt. They don't have that privilege of debt-free education. They don't have the wealth to start a business. I had to start my business with nothing. Wealth provides people with initial capital to purchase an appreciating asset. So to invest in, like in investment portfolios, stocks, bonds, real estate. And that wealth allows you to make those purchases without having to go into debt. And it creates additional wealth. Accumulated wealth is passed on to children and creating that generational and intergenerational wealth. So for Black families and other families of color, studying and working hard is not associated with the same levels of wealth amassed by whites. Black families whose heads graduated from college have about 33% less than the wealth of white families whose head of the household dropped out of high school. The poorest white families, those at the bottom quintile of income, have slightly more wealth than Black families in the middle quintiles of income. So Black people are making way more money, but they don't have the assets minus the liabilities. They don't have the wealth. The average Black household would have to save 100% of their income for 3 years to overcome the obstacles to wealth parity by dint of their own savings activity. They'd have to save everything. We would have to save everything to make an attempt to catch up. So, and it makes note, and this is before the pandemic. When the new research comes out post-pandemic, unfortunately, because our unemployment and our recovery from COVID has been much slower than the majority community. So there is a worsening disparity in America post-recession. It's going to be even worse post-COVID. So I want to look at this study. So Education is not. And that's what, our topic tonight is about, our return on our investment. Are we getting the return on our investment? I'm sorry, I see y'all out there. You'll have to do your chats again. I should have had this chat up. How you doing, Moses? How you doing, Miss Fleming? How are you, Miss Bolden? Yes, yes. And how you doing, Joe Barden? How, yes, indeed. Y'all, I'm glad y'all out there for each other. How you doing, Bonita? You see him start. Oh, look, Mr. Jones, superstar. Look at y'all doing y'all thing. Love it. Thank you. Y'all stay with me because I want you to say your mic as I'm talking. I'm talking to you, but now I have you in the studio with me. Thank you. You can, make actual comments. Try not to chat your comments in because everybody can't see it. So just talk with me in the studio because we don't see any reverb. I know that Weeda, if you're out there partying somewhere and listening to us, happy birthday. It is right. What day is it, Mr. Jones? I can't hear you. I don't know why your speaker's not working.
It is 420, April 20th.
420.
It is National Smoke Day.
It is National Smoke. No, it's Weeda's birthday.
And there it is.
Now we know everything. Weeda. Look, now we know why she was named Weeda. Weeda.
Happy birthday, Miss Davis.
Weeda. You know what I'm saying? I know. Exactly. I see you. 420. If it weren't for you, Mr. Jones, telling me earlier today about 420, and then I got an article from an insurance brokerage firm, telling me that they have companies out there that now cover life insurance for weed smokers. How about that, Star? They said, well, I just want to send this out. That would have been funny if they had been like, well, I guess you don't smoke like that. You smoke like that. I'm showing I'm like that. So they're like, smoke. They were like, this is Cannabis Day.
Cannabis Day.
It's Mary Jane Day.
Mary Jane Day.
It's Weeda Day. It's Weeda Day. Oh, Snoopy D is in the house. Oh my goodness, she's in this. She ain't far. That's right. We thinking about you, even if you stuck at your party. I know you out there partying. Wouldn't it be funny if she checked in intoxicated with a whole bunch of smoke around her? I'd be like, y'all can do that, right, Star? They retired. They can do whatever they want to do. Don't do it, Mr. Jones.
Don't do what?
Oh no! Oh no! Oh, that's what happens. I don't smoke. She said she don't smoke. All right. I know your parents named you Weeda for a reason. She said I don't smoke. That's right. So unfortunately, now I understand why Rick James made that song Mary Jane.
You never knew, JB?
I never knew. Look, we just said she's working. No, I did not know that it meant. I did not know. No, so tonight I Googled like songs about weed, and then it said all these different names, and then it said Mary Jane, and I was like, oh, Mary Jane, So hence is then why we came in with. That's why. You were late.
I was late.
Yeah, you were late. But I know why, because we are so hard working. Like, I was wondering, like, you know what I mean? Why do I have so many clients that smoke? And I realized that we work so hard that we just need to take a break. Obviously, you know what I'm saying? And especially to my retired clients that smoke and have medical marijuana cards and everything. You know what I'm saying? You're a medical marijuana. That's right. You know what I'm saying? I think because there is a direct correlation with the stress of school loans and its impact on our mental and physical health, the stress that we're under, and the sad part is that people are working their entire lives and their hard work is not paying off for them. And so, like, let me go back. I'm gonna go back into reading this article, Umbrellas Don't Make It Rain. I think that title is interesting because what it's saying is, just because you think that you're, you know what I mean, that you're doing something that's for rain, or that you're doing something to protect yourself, and you're going to college and you're going into this debt, that doesn't mean that it's going, look, that, how they're going to make it rain for money, that you could look at it that way too. Like that you really are going to have the money that you need. It says education is not, this is the research, Duke University. Education is not the great equalizer when it comes to race and wealth. Higher education is associated with greater wealth within race groups, but more education will not solve the problem of racial wealth disparity. Isn't that something? Look at this.
I read an article some time ago, and it said your intelligence has nothing to do with you accumulating wealth.
Amen. 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 And we really need to bring that home to our children. I have, an article, that expressing that the way that we bring our young people up and we're telling them, if you work hard, then this will happen. And it's creating anxiety and depression and frustration, you know what I'm saying? And could be leading to the large number of suicides that we see, the growing number of suicides, because if you tell them A plus B equals C and it doesn't, they're getting A plus B and they're unemployed. A plus B. But, oh, woo, it hurts. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts for us. So I think that a lot of people think, and then they probably say this to their young people, you went to college. Look at this. Now, this is the ones, you went to college, and this is black people, and this is their wealth, 23,000 versus 180. So they got this debt and everything. They're not winning. They're not winning. We're not winning. We're not winning. I don't care how many, Black Girl Magic memes you post for me. I'm not winning. Higher education is associated with greater wealth within race groups, but more education will not solve the problem of racial disparity. Black families whose heads earn the college degree with only have only 2/3 of the wealth of white families headed by a high school dropout. Again, they read it. More of a white families whose head completed some college but did not earn a 4-year college degree have slightly more wealth than black families with a head that earned a graduate, a master's, or a professional degree, or like a lawyer. Families, come on. Working hard is not the great equalizer when it comes to wealth and race. Data from the U.S. Department of Labor shows that blacks are systemically denied access to employment. Should I repeat it? The U.S. Department of Labor shows that blacks are systemically denied access to employment. So this is their research, and nothing is being done. Over the past 40 years, there have been only 1 year, that's the year of 2000, in which the black unemployment rate fell below 8%. In contrast, there have only been 4 years in which the white rate has exceeded. Only 4 years out of 40 that it was over. We only have 1 year and 40 years that it was under. But you probably don't even know. That just means that we don't get jobs. The March 2015 unemployment rate for whites was 4.7, while the 8.1% unemployment rate for blacks is consistent with double digit. We're unemployed still consistently about twice as much than the white community. No, I think that, that this is black people working full time. Hope that's not this is their wealth. Working full time. Black people working part time. Unemployed people, zero wealth. Discouraged workers, zero wealth. Look, white discouraged workers who not even trying to get a job still have more wealth. And white kids in school or white people in school have more wealth. Our children in school with zero wealth. Employment does not explain the massive racial disparities in wealth. Like getting a job doesn't answer it. Income also fails to explain dramatic racial wealth disparities. Black and white families with similar incomes have vastly different wealth. Typical black family in the poorest 20% of income, that's those with incomes under $18,000, have virtually no wealth, while the equivalent white family holds nearly $15,000 in wealth. So the poorest white people still have positive wealth. Family income is not the great equalizer. See, we're going to school trying to get an opportunity to create the income, but it's not leading to the wealth that we think. No. How can we ensure prosperity for all? And then it talks about the government doing some baby bonds. I mean, really? But I mean, at least, they give us like all of this horrible information. I just hope that we just don't take the advice on how we're going to change it. My suggestion is the entrepreneurship. I feel that our public policy has to include more support towards entrepreneurship. I believe that when they show the white disparity in the white person that didn't go to high school, it's largely because if you have a family business, didn't finish high school, you really don't have to finish high school and you still can get a job. And with a job, you can get a loan. And with the loan, you can get a house. You see what I'm saying? So then the house will help them develop some positive wealth if they keep it long enough, possibly, or they get the job and the company has their family company has extra money and he's living at home or he's living on family land and in the family house, so he can save basically almost all that he's making from when he's 15 on up. So that's why they can not have a high school diploma, still be in school and have positive wealth because they've been setting up an IRA since they were 15 when they started working. So they didn't need the money. They didn't buy PlayStation with it. So I'm going to do it. But in times like this, everybody that's working in the house, their money is needed. And I hope that nobody out there is still buying games with their money. Because we need to be trying to save. If you can save, if you can buy some games and Fortnite and all this, you need to be saving your money. We got to save our money. We have to be, buying some groceries. Everybody, high schoolers, everybody needs to be responsible for their money. My daughter's in college and she called me tonight. She said, Mom, I found some food, some hair in my food yesterday, and I don't ever want to eat in the dormitory, in the cafeteria again. I don't want to ever eat in the cafeteria again. And I said, well, you know what, babe? Remember when I went to college and I couldn't even afford a meal plan? I didn't have a meal plan. So I want you to go in there and eat the food in that cafeteria for me and for whatever other kid that don't have the chance to get a sandwich with the hair in it. You know, Lord, I would have loved it. I would have pulled the hair out. Look, I'm just joking. But look, whose hair? Here, Mary Ellen, here's your hair back. I'm sorry it fell in my sandwich. Oh my goodness. But you know, sometimes we miss it that going to college is a luxury, not a necessity. And for many of our community, it's slowing us down. Like, I'm gonna show y'all something that literally I hope doesn't bring you to tears. But I got so much to show you. Oh goodness gracious. I'm gonna show you this. But I found this research before I should. There's this I want us to look at something called Jim Crow debt. Jim Crow debt. And I found this research that showed that with that average degree, the average degree holder actually they actually have to work for over 10 years before they have a positive return on their education. Over 10. It's like 15. It's like 15. There are very few degrees that actually give them a positive return at the end of the 10-year period. It was like finance degrees, accounting degrees, but the bulk of them, even biology, even engineering. And the biggest return on your investment is an associate's degree. Because the return on your investment is the least amount that you can put in and the maximum amount of return that you can get from it. Now, what we're doing is doing $100,000 worth of debt and getting out, Queen Howard, and taking jobs that you could have got without a degree. You could have got the job without it. So they're like coming, so that is like a negative return on your 50,000 or 100,000 of debt in education, because nobody is explaining to us that for a long time. So can you imagine that if we were taking that same type of resources and putting it into building businesses within our community? If our parents said, you know what? My daughter, even after I finished, my daughter started an investment advisory firm. I'm going to, take out a loan for $20,000. If I had $20,000 to start this business, they would have millions now from that investment. Because I have worked in this business for almost 30 years with zero capital. So my return on my investment is like huge. But because I didn't have anything to put in it but work. But imagine if I had capital. If someone had actually put capital in it, like Amazon, he had like 250,000. That's what people are doing with their education. They're getting the education, but they're coming out with nothing. Look at the return on the investment with the 250,000 in Amazon. At what point, Mr. Johnson, should we say, you know what? It's not working the way we're doing it.
50 years ago.
Huh?
50 years ago. That old go to school, get the grades, get the good grades, and the job will be there for you has been a lie. Number one is this. Black community hasn't created no job. We constantly go to everybody else for employment.
Amen.
So we need to repent.
Amen.
The elders need to
Amen.
repent and say, you know, we lied to our children. Because COVID showed me the neglect of black leadership.
Yep. It's so true. It's so true. I mean, that's so blatant. I remember when the PPP loans came out. I said to him, I said, there is absolutely no way that they can justify that a payroll protection plan is designed to help black businesses survive. It was designed for black people to make up payroll that didn't exist, because the government knows that research shows that the majority, 99.9% of black owned businesses had only one employee. So they are setting up an incentive program that leaves you out. And you're going
Facts.
around making up payroll, going around making up payroll, you know what I'm saying? And then now incriminating them for falling for the plan. It's not like, it is not designed, you know what I mean, for you to try to get over a system that was structured to use you. Like the government pay back the loan program, that you pay the loan for 10 years. For 10 years, if you, that's why this Jim Crow debt, Jim Crow debt, y'all got to look that up. Jim Crow, that's by the Education Trust, and the Jim Crow debt is about how the federal loan system is designed to exploit the black student. It says how black borrowers experience student loans. I'm just going to share this so that anybody out there who's like thinking that we're making this up will like realize that Afroeconomics does not make this stuff up. This is your stuff. Education Trust, Jim Crow debt. Black borrowers experience student loans. Student debt has been a crisis for years. This is why in 2020, a partnership with this PhD launched the National Black Student Debt Study. This study is based on a nationwide survey of over 1,300 black borrowers and in-depth interviews of 100 black borrowers across various life points. Rather than reporting student loan outcomes, we focus on borrowers' perspectives and life experiences with student loans. Now, so they go on, explain their methodology and how they did this during this pandemic and everything. And it's the student loans are not good debt. Student loan debt is widely considered good debt, as it offers a pathway to obtain credentials that can lead to higher incomes, greater wealth, and social mobility. For black borrowers, however, these gains have never been equal and are continuously undercut. In our study, black borrowers, even those with higher incomes and graduate degrees, challenge the assumption that student loans pay off. Black student loan borrowing is driven by a desire for higher paying jobs and a better life. But since a costly higher education is a prerequisite for those jobs, borrowers often find themselves in a catch-22. More than half of the black borrowers in our study said they did not believe that student loans advance racial equality for black borrowers. 58% said they did not believe that student loans advance racial equality. Or they also don't believe that it increases the black borrower's ability to build wealth. That was 61%. Said it does not increase their ability to build wealth. It doesn't. It breaks it down. And 66, yes. Yes. Oh, it's messing up. And it says 66% regret having taken out education loans that now seem unpayable and not worth it. Sad. I'm not even making it up. I was just taking like the experiences and what I see. So you have these federal programs Biden's really proud of. You pay into it, you pay, you pay. And then at the end of 10 years, if you're working for a government entity, then they will pay off the rest of the loan. Like one of my members said, she said, JB, when I got to the end of my 10 years, I had about 1,000 left. Then they had this stack of forms that I had to fill out. I said, forget about it. I'll just pay the rest. I said, see, that's exactly what I try to explain. How in the world, like you said, Mr. Johnson, how in the world can our representatives, political representatives that you're voting for, think that this is working for us? That's not working.
They know it's not working.
I mean, to the point where you have a education trust that's saying that it's Jim Crow debt. Another point that you shared was income driven, those IDRs, it's called income driven repayment plans, feel like a lifetime debt sentence. You know, these people are paying it for 20 years. And then this one's interesting, is saying that people are saying that they're putting off contributions to their retirement accounts. This here it's saying 39% said that they had to postpone saving money for their retirement because of their school loan. People who make above 100,000 said that 56% of them, higher incomes, said they had to forget about contributing to their retirement plan because their loan payment is probably even bigger because they, have this higher income. So you can assume they probably went to more school, to more, a longer program. And it says, what here, like 67%, 75,000 to 100,000 income bracket, 67% of them said they had to put off purchasing a home because of their school loans. Over 30% on average are saying that they had to put off having children. Look, here's this problem. Paying off other debt, like over 40%. They didn't switch jobs. That's the one where they really get you. They say if you work here for 10 years, but you know what? When I talk to people, I tell them, how much income are you sacrificing by staying at that job? Think about it. So if you're staying at a job where you could be working somewhere else, getting paid twice as much, and all they're going to do is pay off a couple thousand at the end of this 10 years, I mean, really, is it worth it? We really have to pray that all the way through. Is it really worth it? To stay where you're being undercompensated because of their loan program that really isn't helping you that much. Yeah. Mr. Wynn, he said many people aren't, or go to a community college and get an associate's degree and look at the huge return on an associate's degree. Let's learn how to put the minimum in. The minimum in. Look, we don't understand return on investment. When a person comes out of college, like my biggest joy is having so many clients that never went to higher education, never went into debt, but they have as much or more money than the people who have school loan debt. But what we should be learning from is them, how they did it, how they got that positive return on investment when their investment was zero. It was just work. So you got this, they have this 1,000% return on investment over their lifetime, but we ignore that person. And then when we do career planning day, we only invite people in that went to college. What is that?
Nepotism.
No, but you're not even, you go, like, say you just go to a school and the majority of teachers are complaining about they don't get paid enough. So why don't you bring in somebody that's getting paid? Let's bring in like somebody, let's bring in somebody. We don't bring in those type of people. They don't bring in entrepreneurs. I told y'all about one, when I was young in the business, and this newspaper columnist, she was real young, and she said, we're looking for CEOs. We need chief executive officers who are below 30. And I said, well, that would be me. And she said, well, well, I mean, you're just a CEO. Like you're just a low, you're just so what anyway. She went around the world looking for another CEO and came back and still needed me. Oh, I apologize. I mean, I said, she's talking about under 30. This is what CEO under 30 look like. Somebody trying to make it. It was funny. It was funny. But it needs to be explained. If you saw me and Jeff Bezos, he started Amazon around the same time as I started my firm. But he had 250,000 cash straight up. I had $250 on a credit card. Glad that it went through. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the difference. The governor of Virginia, he started his financial service firm around the same time as I started my financial service firm, but with another white guy, and they started the firm, and he is doing it. He's the man. He's the governor now, and he never been in the government. That's how, but he is respected because he knows business. But how many people are actually looking at me and saying, Lord, this girl is doing it. I'm doing the same thing that he's doing. But I'm just black and I can't do it on that level because I don't have people who have it on that level. All he had was a whole bunch of people he knew that had a whole bunch of more money. A whole bunch. But wait, I've made a commitment that I want to help everybody. He made a commitment that I only help these somebodies. Because they got it like that. And that's what you get. But we have to get to a point where we respect what black entrepreneurship looks like. What it looks like. It looks like hard work. Black business sustainability, you know what I mean, looks different. It looks different. And I know when I first went natural and I kept looking for products that would make my hair shine and be glossy and, make things. No, this is what black hair look like. This is what it look like. And you can spend your whole life trying to explain or understand. And that's what's happening with our young people. They're going in debt, they're getting these loans, and then they're not getting it. Because they don't get to meet someone like J.B. Bryan that tells them, you know what? It's hard. It's hard. And this is how hard it is. And I'm still working. And I'm grown. And I've been working almost 30 years. And it don't just stop. I remember my white boss going around. And he used to say, all you got to do to all the white boys. And I was in the room. So it was all white boys and me. So I had to hear it. And I believed it. He said, you work 5 years. You work harder than you ever have for the next 5 of your life, and you'll live better than you'll ever live for the rest of your life. And it was true for them. And it was true for them. But I work harder than I ever did. I work harder than I ever did today. And that's what somebody needs to tell our young children. That's what you gotta have to realize, that you can do and work and do all that you want and everything that you can, but that does not guarantee that it's going to work out this particular way. So what we need to do is to change our definition of what success looks like. And success to me is debt freedom. Success to me is a positive return on your investment. If you're going to college, you need to have a strategy of why you're going to college. We need to stop because we want to brag about it on Facebook with our friends. We need to stop. Like I told my daughter, I need to have a major that makes sense. I don't want you wasting your time. I don't want you wasting your time. We need to stop letting our kids think that they can waste their 20s. Like Steve Harvey says, don't waste your 20s. And know that school loans are not our way out of the black plight. You're going to have all your degrees, and your black self is going right with you wherever you go. And for some of you, it's going to work. And for some of you, like me, it's going to be hard. Everything has been hard for me. Everything has been hard for me. But if you heard from my dad would say the reason it's hard for her is because she doesn't wear her hair straight. I told her she should wear her hair straight. don't walk around with the nappy hair if you wear your hair straight. You know what I'm saying? How many of you are telling your kids that? Sell out yourself. Sell out yourself. What's true to you. You know what I mean? And then when your kids end up being depressed and not true to themselves and confused and going up like Lizzo and putting their butt up in the you know what I mean? What have you done to contribute to that behavior? Because all they're focused on is money. Money is not going to do it for us. We're so much more worthy of so much more. We need to tell our children to focus on being a good person, being a loyal person, having integrity, having commitment, having a purpose that you want to provide to this environment, to this world. That's what it's about. You can go and get all the school loans you want. But if we're not doing anything that's serving and making the world a better place, then what's it all for?
So, JB?
Yes.
I think that black people need to be selfish. I think that when the Asians, when the Latinos, when the Abrahams, West Indians, when they all come over here, they immediately get their grocery stores. They immediately get their supply lines.
Amen.
They get their distribution centers.
Amen.
They're very unapologetic about looking out for their own.
Amen.
I think that we've become so entitled
Amen.
and selfish that we don't see the bigger picture.
Amen.
That if things really shut down again, we toast.
Amen.
Because we don't own nothing.
Amen. And we don't have any emergency anything.
About this time,
we don't stick it out either.
This time 2 years ago, I went to multiple Asian grocery stores, multiple Latino grocery stores. And I did a video showing those who follow me on social media that they didn't have no shortage.
Amen.
There was no shortage in their grocery stores.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
And we didn't have not one grocery store to go to.
Yep.
In the black community. We don't own these giants, these Piggly Wigglies, these Publix.
Yep.
They could shut down tomorrow.
And one lady told me, one lady was telling me the other day, not to show off, but I mean, your point is so powerful. It made me think about this lady said, well, what I'm going to do is when I come into your events, I'm going to put a link to other people's events. I said, well, what are you talking about? And she was like, well, sometimes there's government entities that have things and things. I said, I get that. That's cool. I said, but do you understand that the reason I do our business network is because I've been in business 27 years and not yet have they done one to focus on us. Mm-hmm. So that's all I'm saying is that when are they going to tell the black people in there that there's Afroeconomics and it can help you? So if we continue to not, like you said, see us as a valued resource to each other, we're going to continue to just be spread all out over the place. So you're right. You know what I mean? Just being loyal. But the sad part was, that I was so passionate about it that it made me think about this topic came from that because, you feel like, is your hard work really working as a black person? You know what I mean? Does it really make a difference when your own community is throwing your sacrifice, your work out the window? And we're going out of our way to make sure that we don't support each other. And don't let one thing go wrong with a black business that you do business with, and you will tell everyone you know. But when you go and Krispy Kreme gives you bad donuts, you don't tell nobody. Nobody. But let you go to our store and, oh man, they open 5 minutes late. Blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? We really need to rethink that the only way our hard work is going to pay off is that we learn to value each other's hard work. And think
GB.
about it. Mm-hmm.
So what's this? You have cursing when you cut somebody out. You have cursing when you put a spell on them.
Mm.
And most people, like we had a conversation a couple months ago about biting cussing. And I said, he can cuss all he wants to. But he put a curse on us with that crime bill.
Woo!
But watch this. In the black community, unbeknownst to a lot of us, our words against us is a curse. We're cursing each other. We're cursing the businesses. We're cursing the community. So we're seeing the manifestation of the curse.
Amen.
Not the cussing. I'm talking about the constant cursing out our people.
Amen. Amen.
We don't put value on spoken word.
No, we don't.
We talk about written word, written word, but our words have power.
Yes.
And like a farmer, he put a seed in the ground for a crop tomorrow. So we're seeing the crops from the seeds of yesterday.
Amen. And and we need to make a conscious effort to put those seeds down. And putting those seeds down are going to require some work.
Yes.
Putting those seeds down are going to require some nurturing, some watering, some maintaining, keeping the weeds out. The other day I put on social media, watch the door. We don't watch the door. We don't make sure that the toxins stay out. We let it, we let everything in. We let everything in.
We have literally surrendered our communities to foreigners. There was a time you knew everybody in the community.
True.
If somebody was missing,
True.
you knew who they were and who did it.
True.
We don't know nobody.
So true. So true. We don't. We really don't. And then I was like looking at this website that was like trying to target to our community. And then I found out that it was just a lead source, a clickbait for cryptocurrency. I'm like, and they're using our community, you know what I mean, as a way to connect. And they're acting like it's about like a black conscious group. That's what's so sad. You know what I mean? When it's focused directly to a sales product.
The black community is referred to as black gold. Because everybody comes here and draw from us, take from us, and don't give nothing back.
Amen. Amen.
All this billion-dollar spending power, we don't see it.
That's right.
They see it.
Exactly.
We need a radical revolution of values.
Exactly.
Like yesterday.
Mr. Wim saying about crowdfunding, the reason that crowdfunding has not worked for us is because crowdfunding is not a legitimate way to build a business over the long term. It just isn't. Like, people are not going to invest in a business that only you are going to benefit from. We need to be talking to people as business owners like myself, registered investment advisors, about doing private equity for your firms, for our businesses, for our companies. And that's a lot of why I do the Noon Friday Business Network because my goal is to build out of my network businesses that are ready for private equity. I'm surrounded by people with money. So I'm building businesses that are going to be legitimate investment sources for some of the people I know. But it's like we, you know what I mean, don't see, but with crowdfunding, nobody gets any private equity. The business doesn't get a long-term legitimate investor or someone that actually is going to help build their business. So, crowdfunding is fun for little projects, but we need to build businesses over the long term. We do. We really do. And yes, indeed, Ms. Bolden. We have allowed so many others to dilute to dilute our greatness, but to the point where we don't even know, like, what we are. Like, I don't get encouragement. I thank God for Afro economics and this network, because I promised that I was going to explain why the majority of Black people avoid talking to me. And unfortunately, the reason that the majority of Black people avoid Afro economics with J.B. Bryan is because they have been accustomed to bullshit. And there's nothing bullshit about this. Everything here is 100% real, 100% regulated, 100% overseen, 100% done by the books. What we do is on time. What we do is true. When we schedule an appointment, I keep it. When you join for membership, I commit to it. When we're not accustomed to that anymore. So we go out of our way to avoid it. And we support stuff that does not care about us at all and waste our time and our resources into crap.
Facts.
Amen.
That's why, and I have to put with it, I refuse to be broke. And I disassociate myself with anyone who is making a conscious choice to be broke. I refuse to be broke because I've been broke before, and I refuse to be broke. That is not necessary. It is not necessary for us to be broke.
Facts.
But we have to have the nerve to partner yourself with legitimate, hardworking, honest people who want to tell you the truth about yourself. That this is what you need to do to change your current situation so that you can avoid the stuff that I did. That's why I do it. And if they want to have a liar that makes you feel good about yourself and focuses on how many degrees you have and everything like that, most likely I have more than you do. So what I'm trying to do is tell you that we don't need to worry about that. What we need to focus is wealth development and our family legacy, and the 10 principles of Afro economics are going to develop us holistically as a people, everything. And the 7th principle is entrepreneurship, because I believe that every person on the planet needs to carry themselves as an enterprise and take themselves seriously.
Facts.
And if you don't buy into that, you're not going to want to be near me. You're not going to want to be a part of this. Because everybody that's in it is hardworking, smart, determined. We don't give up. We're not going to. We encourage each other. We speak positive. As Mr. Johnson was saying, you know what I'm saying? But some people go out of their way to be in a toxic environment. Not just some. The majority of people are drawn to negativity.
Yep.
And think it's normal.
It has become normal.
Yes. But that's over. That's over. It can be over. It can be over. But you have to make a conscious choice, you know what I'm saying, to just disconnect yourself from the crap.
JB,
Yes.
the same speech you said about your business, I'm seeing that the Black community have surrendered their ability to protect themselves.
Mm.
That's why they won't do firearms.
Yeah.
They have really
Oh,
become
it's so
comfortable
true.
with the police, the sheriffs, the county, the municipals, the National Guard, the Army,
Mm.
not themselves.
That's so true. That is so true. They sit there, you know what I mean, and just you feel okay being intoxicated and putting yourself in such a vulnerable situation that if anything happens to you, you know what I'm saying, you won't even know. But if you can actually take steps to protect yourself and your family, you do not take the proper steps to do it. And that is so true. You see it over and over and over again. And Mr. Johnson says that because he owns a company of training us in firearms and has explained to the members of Afro Economics the importance of understanding what we have. The most frightening part of it is people have firearms in their homes and don't know how to use them. That's
Facts.
even worse. That's even worse. I had a friend that she had firearms in her house, afraid to touch them, had to call someone hundreds of miles away. Will you come and take these out of my home?
Should have called me. I would have came back.
That's right.
So, you know what I'm saying? It's so sad, right?
We'll
I
travel
didn't
for
know. I
guns.
didn't know what happened because I definitely would have gotten you to do it. That is, or and begged her to take some classes. You know, empowerment. You know, because that same mentality that makes you feel like you don't need to know how to protect yourself from a threat, you know, is the same lack of empowerment when you say it doesn't matter what I'm invested in. I don't know. It doesn't matter if I review my money. It doesn't matter who inherits my money and how things are done. It doesn't matter what my child majors in or what they do with their future. You know, it doesn't matter. You know, that whole don't matter attitude is toxic to our families. That's toxic to our community. Because it does matter. I don't know anybody how that even got in there. Everything matters. And then we go, like, Black Lives Matter. You know what I mean? Why do Black Lives matter? Black Lives Matter because we do positive things with our life and we bring so much to this world and to this economy. And that's what Black Lives Matter, because of what we're doing with our Black life.
Yeah, I think our people have become comfortable in practicing black group economic suicide.
Mm. Economic suicide.
Because anybody who depends on another group for their survival, that's what you're practicing.
So true.
Economic suicide.
And that's why they come out with the articles that tell you all this truth. Horrible situation. Y'all ain't got no wealth. Y'all ain't got no money. You know what I mean? And we gravitate to it, but it's the solution that stops us. Afroeconomics is the solution
Yes.
for all of that data. All of that data. You know, is our hard work working? If your answer to that is no, then you need to be in Afroeconomics making it a yes. We got to figure this out. We got to figure it out.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? I find comfort in knowing I've been working hard a long time, but I also have a business that is prospering and growing. And the majority of people that I know that started a business in 1995 with me are not in business anymore. That's something to be considered. We need to know that it takes effort. You know, it takes,
Frederick Douglass says it's better to raise strong children than try to repair broken men.
Woo! So
And I'm
true.
gonna say this about the
Yep.
every day.
Oh wow. I don't know how I'm gonna get Mr. Johnson back in. You were saying, I'm gonna say.
I'm going to say that comment that Frederick Douglass said applies to us as a collective.
Mm,
There's too many broken adults,
mm,
and we may need to focus on building strong children.
mm. Amen. Amen.
You can't,
Amen.
they can't be repaired.
Amen. I do. I mean, I truly believe that. And when you have a child that's in college, don't think that they're grown and they know everything. They don't. That's the children that he's talking about.
Yep.
That's who he's talking about. That's our future. Get them,
Yeah.
and if they think they know everything, then it's even more important that we get them in check.
We need to
Got
own
to.
that we've allowed 2 decades of children to raise themselves. Because the brothers have been fearful to speak to these males.
Mm,
And now they don't have no respect for their daughters.
mm. So
And
true.
look, I'm 27 years retired police.
Mm,
I know what I'm talking about.
Amen. Amen. And I know you know. But we can, you know what I'm saying? But like you said, let's get them before they hit the street.
That's right.
Let's get them before they hit the street. You know, also, you know, before y'all leave me, you know, you remember last year when I was reflecting on this study, and the study was talking about aggressive behavior in the household and how it is creating the gang atmosphere. Now, this is a actual study that has been done on why are our children joining gangs? Why are our children being violent? And it said that the most violent and the child most likely to join a gang was the child who had an aggressive language person at home. And I've posted that, and one of the brothers on Facebook, he said, my mother used to beat me and yell such bad stuff to me that when I would step out of the house, I would go, let me figure out whose ass I'm going to beat. But we're not realizing that. The mother after he beats somebody up, will say, I don't know where he got that behavior from. I don't know why she's down there in that gang. I don't know where that came from. I was never in a gang. Because you run your house like a gang. Your language and your actions are violent. We have to stop it. We don't want to take responsibility for our behavior, but we must.
Facts.
Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful night. It is 420 and in honor of Awida, who does not smoke. We got 420, Mara Jane. Awida, we love you. And we're going to be right here for you Friday morning. Well, I'm going to be in D.C. right there for you. But we're going live Friday. That's right, I see you, Mr. Jones.
Put that weed down. Put that weed down.
Woo! Y'all be good to one another. Be good to one another. Don't forget. Thank you, Star. Thank you.
See y'all on Friday.
Y'all gonna get that contact. Get that contact in the studio.
Stop those subliminal suggestions.
See you Friday.
All right. See you Friday.
Be blessed. Be blessed. All right, Cheryl. Love you. Oh, thank you, Mr. Wynn. You're great. Oh, happy birthday again. Happy birthday. My mother was my mother, never my best friend. I know that's right. That's right. Y'all be blessed. Good to see you, Angela. We gotta talk. Shalom back. Oh, I love you more, sis. I love you more, sis. Seriously. Y'all be blessed. Y'all be blessed. Thank you. faithful. Stay strong.